Blog Talk Radio.
Do you do when you don't know? Just blow a gospel do-de-o-do. A Hoorah will journey with you to all the places on
Ready
the
to sing today.
What do you do when you don't know? Just blow a gospel do-de-o-do. A Hoorah will journey with you to all the places others won't go.
You're listening to Ask the Unicorn, live with the Unicovia Deliza, answering all your paranormal, metaphysical, and spiritual questions. Call us now at 718-664-9638 to speak with Ahura, or post your questions via chat room on our show page. And now your host, Ahura Z.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Ahura Z, and you're on the air live with me. This is Ask the Unicorn. How are you all doing this evening? Hopefully you're doing well. I hope you're having a very positive time and a very positive week, because this is a good time for positivity. We are nearing the full moon. I believe we're in the full moon tonight, and this is a good time for you to make sure that you're getting all the things that you need to be done. Make sure that you're getting all those things, all those requests to the universe for things like prosperity and well-being, and so that you can receive all of that. I hope you planted your seeds. Now, we'll be heading into a waning moon, and as I have taught you all before, the waning moon is a good time for you to get rid of old things. Get rid of those things that you know you no longer need, even if it comes to getting rid of people that you no longer need. It's a waning moon, which means you make things go away. Okay? So it's a good time for you to do something like that. Now, we're going to be opening the floor up to questions soon, but first I want to say hello to all of you and have Kazi say hello.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today is January 15th, and this is episode 16.
Episode. I like that. Episode. Okay. So I hope you all have a lot of questions tonight, because I'm ready to answer them. We've had a very interesting week. The weather's been kind of nice here. I do know that we're in the middle of winter, or maybe not so much the middle of winter, but close to it, and it's kind of uncharacteristic of winter to have 35 and 40 degree weather, but you know, if you're used to having sub-zero weather, this is kind of balmy. Now, I want to go ahead and open the floor to some questions. Remember, if you have questions that you would like to ask, you'd like to call in and ask these questions, I suggest you do so. I'm happy to answer your questions, so long as they're pertaining to the metaphysical, the spiritual, the paranormal, and the mystical. In other words, if you have questions along those lines, if you're not asking me something like, is my boyfriend cheating on me, or I don't want to talk about, when someone is going to die. If you have issues with someone who's passed away, that's different. But don't call and ask me things such as, is so-and-so going to die? This is happening, because I'm not going to answer you. And also don't call and ask me things like, is my husband cheating on me? Is my wife cheating on me? I'm not going to answer you. Besides those questions, I'll answer just about anything. And it doesn't matter how wild it is. It doesn't matter how mystical it is or out there it is. We'll find some way to get your question answered, okay? Now, what's our first question tonight?
First question comes from Tioni. She says, I have spirits in my house. I think they may be trying to give me a message. I had the letter A in my mirror after showering, and also had a dark shadow over my bed at night. My flashlights are set up for them to turn on and off, and they do. I'm just wondering what all this means. Hope to hear your show tonight. Thank you, and Happy New Year.
Okay, Tioni, if you have that dark presence over your bed and you're feeling as though it's oppressing you, my suggestion would be for you to call someone in that can help you with that. In other words, to remove that particular entity. If it's coming off as dark, it can't have anything good for you, okay? But if it's not doing you any harm, and you kind of have to look to yourself when you say something is dark or things like that. You really have to make sure that it's dark or that it's negative, okay? We as human beings have been taught to fear just about anything we don't understand, and a lot of times there could be a good message that is coming from somewhere that you kind of misread. So if it is malevolent, fine. See it as that and get help. And if you're local, I'll be happy to come to you and get rid of it for you. But there's got to be someone where you are that is capable of doing such a thing. Okay, if not, let me know. Then I'll give you some firm instruction as to how to make yourself safe. But if you say that it wrote an A in the mirror, I think that is a message. And perhaps this particular entity is either someone who you know or someone you knew or someone who thinks that they know you. And they may have written a message to get through to you. Maybe they think that they remember you. This happens all the time. You know, someone will actually think that they know you from somewhere and you're familiar to them, so they will kind of act as though they do know you. Well, it happens in the spiritual world as well. Maybe this particular spirit thinks that it knows you, or it may in fact know you, and try to give you its name, or try to give you something that it believes was your name. You know, so if that's what's happening, see if it can give you a little more, and if it gives you a little more without causing harm to you, by all means, write it down and get what you can. Maybe even take a snapshot of it. You know, take some type of photograph of it so that it can be more concrete and you can actually bring it to myself or bring it to someone else so that we can help you out. There are some very valid paranormal groups that are out there that are investigators that know their limitations and they know what they are capable of doing, and they can do a very professional job. We had a group here just last week, and I'd like to once again thank the East Coast Ghost Trackers for coming out and giving us a wonderful show, you know, and I'm sure that you all enjoyed the show as well. Okay, I hope that does help you. Remember, you can reach me, and you can give us a call at area code 207-207, that's 347-5686, or you can reach us through the Unicorn Cove School of Metaphysics. That is www.unicorn-cove.com, and we'll be happy to help you out. All right, I hope that does help you, Tioni. What have you got for me next?
Next question comes from Carrie Kennard, and she asks, why do I keep waking up between the hours of 3 a.m. to 3:45 a.m. for the last 2 weeks and can't fall back to sleep?
You know, that's really interesting. Throughout the night, the frequencies change. And what I mean by frequency is vibrational frequencies. They change a lot. And you may be sensitive to that particular frequency. That makes sense with a person that is, if I remember you correctly, that makes sense with a person that is as sensitive as you are, that you would wake up at about that time. Remember, we don't all have the type of internal clocks that want to sleep at these hours. And sometimes your clock may decide that it wants to be awake because it's hearing something, or it's sensing something, or feeling something. Maybe there's a vibrational frequency change in the middle of the night that you happen to pick up, and you want to be a part of that vibration on the inside, but your body is telling you, or your outside clock, or the way that you've conditioned yourself is telling you that you're supposed to be asleep during these hours. There are people all over the world that work at night, and there are people all over that have different time clocks than we do. And when the next time that actually happens, I would get up and start investigating, okay? See if you can find something that would warrant that particular vibrational change, why you're all of a sudden awake and wide awake most times. You know, at that particular time, at that particular moment, you can't get back to sleep. That means that you should probably get up and do something. Move around a bit. Ground yourself. Maybe you have some unexpended energy that needs to be expended so that you can rest. Here's the interesting thing about sleep even. And sleep and energy are very closely related because you even need energy in order for you to sleep, okay? And most people don't really think that. You think that when you're out of energy, you fall asleep. Well, sometimes you kind of do, but then you wake up again. You know, the thing is that you have to keep your energy on an even keel, which means that you have to make sure that you're doing everything during the day that you're supposed to do in order for you to rest properly at night. Now, that can be exercise, that can be activity, any type of activity. Most of us, and I don't want to say most of us, I'll say some of us, actually don't get all of the energy expended that we need to get. So you wind up laying in bed. And I do believe that this is one of the common causes of light insomnia. You know, of course, doctors will tell you something different. That's fine. But I think that if you don't expend all the energy that you have, remember, every day you get a certain amount of energy to use. And if you don't use that energy, then it's left over. Well, it has to go somewhere, and it'll go towards keeping you awake. Now, on the mystical end of this particular thing, there could be some type of spiritual activity that is causing you to awake at the same time every single night. And, you know, if you look at your clock and you see it's the same time more than twice, then something is up, and you really have to pay attention to that. Doesn't make it necessarily bad, but it does mean that there's some type of a signal or vibrational frequency change that is getting your attention. Get up, investigate next time. And you know where I am. If it becomes something that you don't want, just give me a call. If it becomes something that you think that you really want to explore, again, give me a call. And it's time for you probably to get back into training because your senses have always been a little heightened and maybe they're being even higher now. Okay, I hope that does help you. Thanks for calling. Okay, what do you got?
The next question is from Lindsay, and she asks, I would like to know your opinion on chaga for medicinal use. I would like to harvest it on my own for my own use, but I am not sure if it will hurt the tree. Thank you, and I love your show.
Okay, let me answer you kind of in reverse. It won't hurt the tree if you don't hack into the tree. Okay, you just be very, very careful. Okay, but I do think that it's quite reputable for medicinal purposes. I can't pretend to know everything that there is to know about it. I know some things about it. And I know that some of my students are actually quite avid about collecting it. So, you know, as long as you don't hurt the tree, don't go hacking in the tree with this mad frenzy to collect all of this chaga. Just make sure you're being very, very careful. And even before you attempt to use it, my suggestion is for you to know everything possible about it. Okay? Before you jump into using something. We are very fad-oriented people, and a lot of people like to jump on a bandwagon. If you're being educated, and you're being intelligent in your uses of something. And, you know, I know that a lot of people don't like necessarily consulting physicians about things, but, you know, there are some very wonderful holistic medicine practitioners that could probably tell you a little bit more about that on the scientific end. On the spiritual end, I think it's a wonderful way that Mother Nature reaches out to us and says, here, I'm going to give you something a little extra. And to just find out as much as you can about it. I do believe that it is very strong in the medicinal purposes. So please, just find out as much as you possibly can before you go to use it. Okay, because you know, I remember when I first started along my herbal education, I was one of those people that would just pick something and take a bite of it just to see how it tasted, or just to make sure I knew what it tasted like, and sometimes that could lead to some funny things. So it's best for you not to do something like that. Just find out as much as you can. Be careful with the tree, and the tree will give you even more. Okay? I hope that does help you.
Yeah, chaga is very good for rebalancing the immune system.
Yeah.
That's very good.
Yeah, you just have to make sure that you know everything that you're doing before you do it. Okay? All right. What have you got for me next? What have you got for me next?
Okay. Let's see. This is from our chat room. I came across something that said that Zeus was an ascended master before becoming a god. Is this true?
Zeus was probably always a god. Okay. I know that there's a lot of stories surrounding things, but here's something that's really interesting. There are so many different types of stories and so many different avenues of lore that you find it very, very hard to get at the truth of things. And, you know, to many people here, someone like Zeus is a myth, but I don't think so. As a matter of fact, I know that Zeus is not a myth, you know, so you kind of have to really sift through a lot of popular ideals. It's kind of like there's the idea of Hercules, and which later became Hercules. And, you know, even when they do depictions of him, there's always some type of a bias, or there's some type of a perspective on such characters. You know, you know him as a god. You know, if you're trying to find out the history of a god, to say that, well, he was ascended from what? is what I really want to know. Because I do think that Zeus in and of himself is another representation of God, or our God, or of someone else's God. And you can't really deny them. It's like looking and saying that Allah was an ascended master before he was God, and that Jehovah was an ascended master before he was God. And I tend to think that is not really the way that it is. But if it helps you and it can be a stepping stone, fine. But I think that they were what they are always. And see, because we have certain origins, in other words, we were children before we became adults, doesn't mean that they have the same type of a life path or the same type of a growth pattern as we do. And I do think that that's a very intelligent question, and I do think it's a very thought-through question. I'm just going to suggest to you that they always were what they are. Okay? All right. Now, what I'm going to do is, before I start answering phone calls, I'm going to actually deal more with the chat room just a little bit. But I'm going to play a song right now, and I'm going to come back, and we'll probably get to some more questions, and then we'll go to the phones. So those of you that are calling in, remember the number is 718-664-9638. Please call in with your questions. I love talking to people. We will be back in a moment. I'm going to play a song for you all, and I hope that you enjoy it.
Concentrate.
Concentrate by Pisces Project. If you like these songs, you can download these songs or any of the songs that you hear on the show. Just go to Unicorn One Records. That is www.unicorn1, the number one, records.com. And you can download any of these songs that you hear on the show. Now, I want to say just a side note before I go to the phones here. You know, this is a time where it's very important and can be very, very beneficial to people to just do a lot of things on a physical level, okay? It's important for you to get your body's energy moving and keep it moving. That way, you will be able to not only rest, but you'll be able to get a lot more done, okay? For those of you that may be ailing with a little bit of flu that is going around, try to do something. I know that a lot of times when you're in the midst of having something like the flu, it's very difficult for you to get up and move around. But try to do something that gets your body energy moving a little bit, and you'll probably heal a lot sooner. Okay, now I want to go to the phone lines now, and let's see. The first person that we have in the studio is an old favorite of ours, and that's Elise. How are you doing, Elise? How are you this evening?
Okay, thank you. How are you doing?
Just wonderful. What can I do for you this evening?
Okay, I was wondering, whenever I walked out under street lamps outside at night, they have a tendency to go out or turn off, and I was wondering what causes that.
You know, I've heard that a lot, actually. I've heard that from a lot of people, and you know, on the physical level, sometimes the current that goes through these street lamps is a little faulty. Okay, but on the spiritual level, perhaps there's an energy that's trying to talk to you. And you know, from my particular standpoint, I think that it's probably best for you not to be outside when the street lamps are doing that. Because maybe there is an abhorrent energy that may be around, or maybe there's a type of energy that may cause you to overload yourself, or who knows, probably your energy is overloading them. But it's probably the time that you see the street lamps on and you're out walking is not a great time, especially now, because it's darker a lot sooner. I know the days are going to get longer, but it's probably an indicator that you should be inside.
Oh, that sounds good. Okay.
Okay. Now, I know you're pretty brave, and everybody else is brave, but maybe someone is trying to tell you, hey, Elise, it's time for you to go inside. Okay. Because some of the things that you've already told me about where it is that you live. So I would tend to think that that's a little bit of a precautionary warning.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now, I've told you the physical part of that, so pay attention to all of it, okay? Because it doesn't mean that there's, you know, an angry spirit around just because the lights kind of blink here and there, or just because they go out. Every once in a while, the city likes to do that. Okay?
Well,
but on the other end,
yeah,
I've told you what that means as well.
Yeah, but also when the lights go out, then I get electrical shock going through my hands. So I was wondering if that was connected.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good connection right there. Yeah, if you're getting electrical shocks at the time that the lights go out, then it probably means that, like I said before, either it's not a good time for you to be out, or maybe your energy is causing an overload.
Oh.
Remember, we have talked about your kineticism.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Could I ask another question or not?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. Sometimes when I'm sitting down on the sofa, something sits down next to me. When I turn around, I don't see anything. I'm sure there must be something there, but I don't see anything. And sometimes whatever this sits down next to me puts their arm around me, and it kind of creeps me out. So I don't really know what to do or how to get them to stop.
Yeah, have you told? Sure, you know what to do. I've already shown you what to do. But have you told Tal about this from time to time?
Yeah.
Okay. And is it happening a lot more?
It's been happening a lot lately.
A lot lately. Okay. Now you say that it creeps you out.
Well, yeah, because all of a sudden, like, I'm just sitting there minding my own business, and all of a sudden something sits down right next to me. I mean, there's this whole big sofa that they could sit anywhere. They just have to sit right down next to me. So I'm just, if I ask them who they are, I don't hear anything.
At some point in time, I may have to give you guys a visit again. Because, you know, if you got things sitting next to you and all of a sudden they're putting their arm around you, that's kind of a cause for alarm. So remember what I've taught you. I've taught you how to take care of certain things, but you have to use the things that I give you in order for it to work.
I respect what you've given us, and I do the best I can to do those.
Now, I've also sent you some. We've also sent you some holy water. Have you gotten it yet?
Not yet. I'll let you know when I do.
Okay.
I really appreciate it.
No problem at all. Just understand, in order for the tools to work, you kind of have to use them. And I know that you're pretty good at using things, but every once in a while we all kind of falter, so just make sure you're being consistent. I know when it comes to prayer, you're very, very consistent, and when it comes to praying for people, you're very, very consistent. But if you've got something there that is putting its arm around you, like I said before, you have to know the nature of these things, but at least since you're really, really busy praying for other people, maybe you should say a couple of prayers for your own house. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I hope that helps you. And, if it happens again, let me know, okay?
Okay. Thanks a lot.
No problem. It's always wonderful when you call in. You have a good night.
You too. Thanks.
Okay. Night-night.
Bye-bye.
And that was Elise. And we're going to, looks like we have, that's Tioni that's calling in. So I'm going to bring Tioni in. How are you doing this evening, Tioni?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Yes, wonderful. What can I do for you?
Well, you answered a part of my question earlier. This entity I'm having over my bed, I've got pictures of it, and inside the pictures, I've got the dark shadows, but I also have a bunch of different colored orbs with it.
Okay.
Now,
so
I don't know if
you've got the dark shadows in the actual picture.
Yes.
Okay. So here's a couple of things you can do. One, you can probably email me the picture, just so that I can see it, and I'll take a good look at it and see what I can see on the picture. But if it's this dark energy, now, how do you feel once the dark energy is left, or do you have to make it go away? Does it just leave on its own? What is the pattern of it?
Well, when I walk into my bedroom, I know when it's there. Put it that way.
Okay. So you just know that it's there. So it's just kind of lurking in there, waiting. Is it waiting for you specifically? Do you feel that it's waiting for you? But it does hover over you.
All the time.
But it does hover.
Yeah,
it does hover over you.
Bed.
Yes. Okay. Now, does it hover over your bed when you're in it, or does it just hover over your bed?
All the time.
All the time.
I mean, I can go anywhere in my room and take a picture, and it's right over my bed.
And it just stays there.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Now, here's what I want to know. Where'd you get the bed? And how long have you had it?
That's another story. I had that bed with my ex that passed away with cancer.
I see. Okay. And how long has that been now?
About 5 years.
Tony, my suggestion is for you to get rid of the bed.
Seriously?
Yeah. Get rid of the bed.
You saying that gives me the chills. Because the person I was with 5 years ago, he was a real bad person. I mean, he wasn't nice at all. And I thought it was like maybe his negative energy might be in there all the time.
Yeah. Get rid of the bed, please.
Okay.
And
because my new boyfriend that I have has also slept in the bed. And his first time sleeping in the bed, he woke up the next morning. There was a knife under him.
Yeah. See, get rid of the bed, please. And before you put a new bed in there, clean the whole room out. You need to get rid of those things that are remnants of this person.
I get chills all down me right now. Okay.
Okay, you've got to let the stuff go. Just let it go. Get rid of it.
Okay.
Okay, and things will go a lot better. You get rid of that dark energy really easy. Now, where are you?
I'm in Lion Mountain, New York.
Wow. Okay.
I live in an old mine building.
Really?
There's a lot of spirits.
Well, you really need to clean the place out, and you'll probably get a lot better rest. So please get rid of the things.
Because there's a lot going on here. That's not just the only thing. There's a lot going on here.
Yeah, so you can start with getting rid of that bed, okay, as quickly as possible. And I really wouldn't recommend that you sleep another night in that bed, okay?
Really?
Really.
Wow, that's kind of scary.
Well, don't be scared. Just be effective and get rid of it.
Something sat next to me on that bed, and I was laying down on it. And I was facing the opposite direction, but I felt the presence of something on the bed. The whole bed just weighed down, and it scared me.
Yeah, so please, just get rid of the bed, and everything will be fine.
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem. Let me know if you have any other questions, okay?
I will.
All right. All righty. Thank you for calling in. Okay, bye-bye.
Yep. Bye.
All right. And that was Tioni that called in. Do you have any other questions?
Yes.
Okay.
Next question comes from our chat room. Next question is from our chat room, and they say, I am on the internet quite a lot. Many people use pictures, some of which are dark, bloody, and otherwise disturbing. Is there a way to lessen the impact because once it has been seen, they cannot be unseen?
There may not necessarily be a way to lessen the impact, but you can lessen your access to them. Okay, you kind of have to pick and choose. You're the one that's going to have to discriminate. Now, what you can do is kind of keep yourself emotionally separated from these things. Now, whenever someone says something like that, other people say that it's desensitization. No, you don't need to desensitize yourself to anything. But what you do need to do is pick and choose what sites you are going to go on. That's because you're right. Once you've seen them, they can't be unseen. And if you're a sensitive person, they will embed themselves in your own energy. So my suggestion is for you to just maybe not even look in the sites that have these types of things. You know, if you're really that sensitive. If you can take it, fine. But if you're a sensitive person that can't deal with things such as blood and gore and maybe some very graphic pictures, my suggestion is for you just not to go into these sites. Okay, that's the best thing for you. If you do happen to see something, tell yourself that it's not you. Make sure that you understand that you don't have anything to do with that particular thing and walk away from it. And when you do walk away from it, just give yourself a little private meditation just to say, I'm whole, I am healthy, and I'm fine. And just move away from these things. And try not to invite negativity into your life. You know, try not to invite these kind of things, into your life because they can affect you. Even on an etheric level or an energetic level, they can kind of affect you if you're a sensitive person. And I do appreciate what it is that you're saying. I just want to tell you, maybe you should just kind of back away from things that are going to give you that type of an impression. There are lots of people out there that can play survival horror video games, and there's some people who just can't. And that doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you bad. It merely means that you're sensitive to these particular things. So just back away from them, and you'll be fine. Okay? I hope that helps you. All right. What have we got? Next.
Another question from our chat room. I see light runes all around me in spirals. What are they, and can they be manipulated for healing or communication?
Well, that depends. First, you've got to understand what the runes actually are before you start manipulating them and asking whether or not they can be used for healing. I mean, perhaps what you should do is the next time you see them, just write them all down, and then see if there's something that correlates with them in writings, or see if there's something that correlates with them in you. And if you're unsure, then go to someone that does read runes that can tell you whether or not there's a type of rune that fits that particular light rune that you are seeing. And then the next step, once you've learned about them, would be to see if you can manipulate them or see if they are already being manipulated and they're just there to help you out. Okay? Because in truth, if they're there to help you out, you really don't want to try to fix something that's not broken. You know, so learn as much as you can. I know that we are very experimental people. I mean, we love getting in there and getting our hands dirty in something. But if you don't understand something, the last thing that you want to do is touch it. Okay? You know, so before you start going into whether or not they can be used, see how they're already being used. They may not necessarily be something you want to deal with. Investigate first. And I have to say this to everyone. Before if you go outside and you see a band of power, before you go put it on your arm, you need to know exactly what it does. That doesn't mean be timid or afraid. It merely means a little bit of research is in order. A little bit of investigation is in order. Okay, I don't care what it is. Just find a way to understand a little bit before you go and tamper with something. Okay, that not only will show respect to that particular object of power, it will also show your life respect. And it will show the universe respect. And that way you'll get something out of your experience. Okay, so the next time that actually does happen, write down those rooms and see what they actually correlate to. See what effect they actually do have. And then maybe you can pick and choose which ones that you'll use. It may be that you're being given the gift of being able to use these runes. But you won't know that if you just, go and decide, well, I want to manipulate them. Because if they're actually something from divinity, divinity can't be manipulated. Divinity can only be cooperated with. And that's your best bet. Cooperate, not manipulate. Okay. Now, what have we got? What else have we got?
Next question comes from Christine. She wants to know, how do you know how to effectively tell the people about something you survived that was very traumatic in an effort to educate others? My aim is to heal myself and to help others, yet I am faced with overwhelming fear when the subject presents itself. It has been years since the incident has occurred. How do you know what to do? I feel unable to be silent about the issue any longer.
Well, first you have to heal yourself. And based upon the description you just gave me, you're not yet healed. This is why you're being frustrated. You have to actually heal yourself if you want to help others. Okay? Heal something on the inside of you, then be able to recount your experience without being emotional, or recount your experience without going through the pain of recounting the experience. Life is a process. I know that there are things that you want to make sure that something that happened to you doesn't happen to someone else. But in order for that to actually be effective, you're going to have to make sure that you're okay. You're going to have to make sure that you can describe what happened to you, detail by detail, and then deal with things on your own, heal yourself on your own, and then you'll be able to tell your story. Put things in perspective and put them in order. Don't run screaming at people and then get upset because they don't understand your story. Just take your time. You're better now. So reevaluate everything that you're doing and make sure that you're coming across clearly. Make sure that you're saying what you mean and meaning what you say. Make sure that you're healing yourself before you run out and try to heal somebody else. Okay? And that's the best thing that I can tell you. Yeah, I understand your experience was traumatic. But make sure that it's not the trauma that is talking to people. Make sure that it is you that is talking to people. Okay, so take your time. Slow down. Cool your jets. Okay? If you've gone through this particular experience, and you have, and you're healing from it, give yourself a little time. Give yourself some time so that you'll be able to explain clearly what it is that has happened to you. And be the living example of how to get out of situations that way. Okay? So that someone else doesn't mosey in there and have to suffer the after effect. You can stop them on the way and say, listen, I did this, and this, and what happened was this, and this. You don't want to go that way. So take your time, heal yourself, and then you can go out and heal others. Okay? Hope that helps. And I'd like to say a little bit about that to everyone. We all want to help each other. All of us that are good people, we want to help each other. We want to help other people. We've got to also learn to help ourselves. It's very admirable that we want to go out and help people and to change this world. But you can't change this world if you're not helping yourself. So do that first and foremost, and you'll be fine. Okay? You'll be able to help others. It's the same with a lot of mothers out there that will give their very last breath for their children. and I appreciate that. But you're going to also have to help yourselves. I mean, yes, the mother bear takes care of her cubs, but the mother bear also has to eat. And it's the same with anybody that wants to help anyone else. You have to take care of yourself. I mean, it's great. You can teach a person to fish. You can give them fish. But you're also going to have to give yourself fish so that you're able to be around to help other people. So that's very important. Heal yourself first, okay? You'll have the opportunity to help and heal others. All right. I hope that helps you. What have we got next? Okay. Listen, for those of you that want to ask questions, and you can ask your questions. I'll answer anything. And for those of you that want to call in, please just give us a call. That is 718-664-9638. And I'm going to ask all of those that are students of mine to give people the opportunity to call in. And you all get to talk to me on different occasions and different times, So if you can just kind of back up a little bit and let the people who don't get the opportunity to speak to me ask a few questions, that would be wonderful. Now, we do this show every single week, so if you'd like to also make a donation so that I can do more shows and have more guests on, because that's really what I'd like to do. At this time, I've resolved to have guests in once a month. Until I can clear up some space to do more shows. But you can also go to the Ask the Unicorn site or website or the Facebook site, and you can make a donation to the show. Just go to www.asktheunicorn.com and hit the donation button. You can make a donation so that I can do more shows. I really enjoy doing this. I know that you all enjoy the show. So it would help in both ways. Now, if you have even interesting questions, I don't care if it has to do with cryptozoology, I don't care if it has to do with ufology, if it has to do with any matter, I can answer your questions for you. I really do appreciate some of the questions that have to do with the universe and have to do with other beings in the universe. And I know that I've spoken to a few people about what they've seen as far as what we like to call extraterrestrial encounters. And they're really quite interesting, and I'll have some guests like that on the show as well. So far, we are really enjoying doing this show, so we do depend on questions, though, and things that people want to know. Even if you have something that is going on inside your life right now that you would like to have a few answers about, I'll be more than happy to answer your questions and to help you navigate a clear path. I also do readings, telepathic readings, and I do different types of readings. I do paranormal investigation. I do energy removal and entity removal. Now, you can call the energy whatever you'd like. It doesn't matter to me. If it's causing harm in your life or is wreaking havoc in your home or in your life, we can remove it. And we give you clear instructions as to how to keep these things out of your life, because that's a really important part. I can get the things out of your home, but then you have to make sure that you're keeping them out by following some simple rules. Some of the rules that you can follow are try not to argue or cause fights in your home. Okay. 2, try not to invite anybody that you know has abhorrent energy. I know that most of us people of light are very kind people, but you have to draw a line between being kind and being nice. Being nice makes you allow things into your home that you shouldn't. Being kind means that you're very generous, you're benevolent, but you draw a line someplace. And it's really important because I've seen lots of people invite other people that didn't have the right type of energy into their environment, and their environment wound up being kind of messed up. So you've got to be, 1, aware of your environment and the changes in your environment, and 2, aware of who you allow in your environment. And you always have a choice. I don't care what the situation is. You do have a choice of who you allow in your home and who you don't allow in your home. You have a choice as to who you choose to partner up with and go around with and hang out with, and who you don't. Don't allow yourself to be fooled by saying, well, this person is just a really nice person and I really didn't want to hurt their feelings. Listen, if you know that person could be a nice person, but their energy is not the coolest in the world and it doesn't really jive with yours, my suggestion is for you to just walk away from them and let them find someone else to hang out with. You're not doing anything wrong. I know that a lot of times, particularly you women, you guys get made to feel guilty about a lot of things just because. You know, they will tell you, well, I can't believe you're being this way with me, or, you know, you're making me feel so bad that I can't hang out with you. There's no obligation to anybody, okay? There really isn't. This is your life, and it's really important for us to start seeing that, you know, that we all have our own lives that we need to take care of, as well as taking care of our fellow man. Okay, so don't allow yourself to be put into a passive-aggressive situation where you feel bad just because you don't want to have company, or just because you don't want to hang out with someone or go around with someone. Okay, and make sure that you're keeping the energy in your home good. All right, let's look and see if do we have any more questions?
We just got one more from the chat room.
Okay.
Are you familiar with the Dyatlov Pass incident? How do you think it happened? I probably mispronounced that. I'm
sorry. I'm not really familiar with that, what you're talking about. Perhaps you can give me a little more.
Dyatlov.
Dyatlov.
Yeah.
No, I'm not really familiar with that. Perhaps you can give me a little more about it, and I can probably tell you what actually happened. But I'll look it up for you, and then I will get the answer for you. Okay?
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Now, if there's someone that you know that you think highly of and that is into the paranormal or the mystical, you can also put them in touch with us as well. And if they have something that they're doing that it is actually helping people, perhaps what we'll be able to do is have them as a guest on the show as well. I'm always open to having people that are interesting on the show. I think it helps all of us to know what's going on out in the world. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to actually do a little interlude just for the station break, and to give you all the information that you all need about the show. I'll be back shortly. This is Ask the Unicorn. I'm Ahura Z. You're live.
You're listening to Ask the Unicorn with Ahura Z. DeLiza, answering all your paranormal, metaphysical, and spiritual questions. Call us now at 718-664-9638 to speak with Ahura, or post your questions via chat room on our show page. If you have an issue you'd like to discuss with Ahura in more detail, he offers telepathic readings and spiritual counseling by phone and Skype. Ahura also teaches private classes online using Skype video. For more information, visit Unicorn Cove School of Metaphysics at www.unicorn-cove.com. And now back to Ask the Unicorn.
Feel me whisper in your ear. You and I are meant to be.
All right, that was Love Spell by Pisces Project and part of their Spellbook album. Again, if you love these songs or you like these songs, you can download them. Just go to the Unicorn One Records site. That is www.unicorn1records.com and download. And we have many other songs on there that you would also like. Now, this has been a very good show, and I love answering the questions that you all have, and I hope to answer even more. Do we have any questions in the chat room at all?
Continuing on the Dyatlov Pass incident.
Okay, this is good.
It occurred in 1953. 9 hikers died in strange circumstances. They were so frightened of something that some of them...
Wait a minute. I did hear about that.
...threw their tent and fled into sub-zero weather barefoot. And apparently a couple of them had...
Wait a second. I did hear something about this.
2 fractured skulls and some broken ribs.
So something attacked them?
Sounds like it.
Okay.
But there was no evidence of foul play, is what the Russian authorities found.
Well, I kind of have my thoughts about that. I think that something did happen that was foul play, but I'm not going to say one way or another because you wind up causing an international incident. The only thing that I can say about it is that there was definitely something out there that was being hidden. Okay, in other words, there's a reason for the hiding, and there had to be something else out there that someone was trying to hide. Okay, and I think that these people ran into it. And I also think where they found them, it was kind of planted. In other words, to say that people got brutalized like that and then say that there was no foul play involved is kind of something that's a little hard to swallow. I think what they found was either an experimental site or an underground. I'm sorry, my own consciousness won't let me be quiet about it.
Well, some of the tests show that the clothes had high levels of radiation.
Okay, which basically means that there was someone out there. Okay, they ran into something, and when they ran into something, they were taken out because of it, or maybe the thing that they ran into took them out. I think definitely there's more than meets the eye. You can't say that something was no foul play. They didn't fall off into the snow and get radiation. They didn't go running amok out of their tents for some unknown reason. I don't care. It could have been a lot of things. Maybe it was a radioactive Yeti, or maybe the Bigfoot managed to go out there. Or maybe there's a little bit of ET activity that went on out there, or maybe even some experimentation. The moment you put snow with radioactivity, people being injured and killed and found in the snow, what that means is that something is up. You guys have to excuse me. I tried to be calm and cool about this, but the truth is that my own consciousness won't allow me to. Something was definitely up out there. That's what happened. Okay? There are far reaches where there are underground installations that are hidden in places. There are also people that have been taken to these installations and maybe used as part of experiments. And these particular people went out there to find something, and they wound up paying the ultimate price for it. So no foul play involved? What kind of hooey is that? Okay, seriously. It's like, there's no Area 51. Okay, it's just a myth. There are no extraterrestrial life forms. There's just 9 other planets out in our solar system for our entertainment, even though we can't see it with our physical eyes. We need a freaking telescope. So don't tell me that, that these people went out there and died and there was nothing out there that caused that. This is what I think. And this is my own personal thought, and you all don't have to subscribe to this if you don't want to. I think that our government, just like other governments, have been in touch with extraterrestrials for quite some time and have had dealings with them for quite some time. That's not unusual, nor is it surprising. But I think that there are some other life forms that are out there that have either been created, have been created as part of a coercion between government and extra government. And I think that every once in a while we stumble in on these things and someone wants to keep everything quiet. I don't get it. I mean, everyone knows that there's ETs. Everyone knows that there are extraterrestrial beings. So why are they hiding? I have no clue. What, hide behind a cloud? Maybe do a little invisibility here and there? That doesn't even make any sense anymore. We're going to have to get used to this stuff in the first place. We're going to have to. Eventually, even our government is going to make the announcement that we've had extraterrestrial activity, so they might as well go ahead and do it. I mean, so many people have lost their lives like these people and then told, well, there's no foul play involved. The moment that you try to hide something from people who should know it, and that's your general public, that's called foul play, in case you didn't notice. Now, I'm not going to go on the conspiracy theorist kick or anything like that. I'm just saying, you know, there's definitely something that did happen to that. I didn't know what that was called. I didn't know that there were people that went out and they found them dead in the snow and that they were brutally injured, and it looked as though they had went amok out there. But there's been several accountings of that. That was only one. But that's because they saw something, and something came after them. And that's the bottom line. Something came after these people. You know, so if you have other questions like that, fine. You know, that's actually quite astounding that they would say that there's no foul play involved at all. You know, but, you know, I'm not going to comment too much on Russia because we have the same thing going on here. There have been people that have come up missing mysteriously, and there's been no reports of foul play. You know, no reports of foul play. But we all know that extraterrestrials are here. There have been too many people that have seen them. Too many people all at the same time that have actually seen them. And as far as you skeptics go, you guys are ridiculous, seriously. I mean, you're saying, that's not what a spaceship looks like, so tell us what a spaceship looks like then. You know, the truth is that these things and other things have existed a long time. A long time. Now, I can't say in entirety what goes on at places like Area 51, but I do know that there's a lot that does go on in Area 51. There's a lot that goes on, but there's a lot that goes on even in our backyards. I mean, here in Maine, we've got a whole network of underground tunnels that we use for the underground railroads that no one really ever talks about. There's no, I mean, you would think that there would be things like, you know, tourists to see stuff like that, right? And you think about all of the spirits and all of the people that died underneath these tunnels or in these tunnels that are causing all kinds of paranormal activity. Do you think for 1 second that our government doesn't know about that? Do you think that for 1 second that there are not people who are paid to do investigations in these? You'd be sorely wrong. The truth is that these things run all. I remember going on an investigation and chasing a spirit to a doorway that was sealed over. And I asked the owner, I said, where does this go? And he said, I did not even know that was there. You know, and that's happened on several occasions where I knew something was underneath in some of the basements here. And there are places in Portland, right today, Portland, Maine, that I could take you to that have whole underground networks. Underground networks. There's probably people living down there. But, you know, they've got whole underground networks that go from one end of Portland all the way through other parts near Gorham. And probably further. I remember going to Bridgeton Academy and the headmaster then telling us of the underground railroads and the transports where Captain Bridge and his boys, as he called them, fought off much of the Confederates to abolish slavery. And you know something? When he said that, I knew that was what was going on. But there's also so much paranormal activity that goes on with things like that. I mean, I can take you to a place all up and down 95 where the spirits actually jump right in front of your car at night, and have been responsible for a lot of accidents. It's not a good idea for a person to be tired driving that particular strip. And that's just because of the paranormal energy. So, you really have to take these things into consideration, especially with that one incident. It was funny that I couldn't place the name of it, nor could I even think about it, but I did know of the experience, and once I heard it, it all came back to me. There are many experiences just like that. And it behooves all of us to look into things like that. You want to increase your intelligence, you want to increase your awareness and increase your awareness of the paranormal and the mystical. That's how you do that. It doesn't mean for you to label yourself a paranormal investigator, but it does mean that you have the right to investigate things so that you can enrich your own consciousness. And then, if you have questions about it, I'll be more than happy to answer them. Speaking of, do you have any other questions?
Yes.
What do you got?
I do. This is from Lindsay. She asks, all of my life I have had a hard time making friends. I think I would make a good friend, but I'm wondering if I put something out there that I don't mean to. What am I doing wrong? Any help would be helpful. Thank you.
Well, I think that it's not so much what you're doing wrong, it's what you may be overdoing. You're looking to be a friend and to have a friend, and that's good that you actually said that you think you would make a good friend. And I think that you would make a good friend too. Don't go and say that something is wrong with you. That's one of the worst things that you can do, because I don't think that there is anything wrong with you. Maybe you just don't understand how people make friends. Sometimes you just have to be available. And you know something? Since you're trying to be a good friend, I am certain that you will have friends. I think that you just need not to try so hard to be a good friend. It will come. Just be available. Be approachable, and I'm sure that you are. Just be in the right place at the right time. And, there's not much else to say about that. You can go and find out what other people are doing, and you're bound to meet people. There's so many activities out there to do. All you have to do is be at them. And I'm sure that you'll make some friends. Now, when you do make friends, though, and when you're out there and you're discovering new people, just make sure that you don't let your guard down and be non-discriminatory. Okay? Pick and choose who you want to be friends with. Don't just be a friend to someone because you need a friend. Don't go out there being desperate. Just be yourself. Be yourself. Enjoy yourself. Be into what's going on around you. And I'm certain that the friends will come to you. Okay? You don't want to do things like go hanging out in bars or anything like that. Okay? It's best for you to find some real events. There's so many things out there now that you can get involved with. There are clubs, there are schools, there are activities. You can go to the theater, you can go listen to music in a concert. You can even go to a restaurant, a nice restaurant, and sit and listen to some of the music. There are restaurants that play live music. I really appreciate those. Those are awesome. Go do karaoke one night. Go find something to do. See if there is sporting events that are going on in your particular community. Go see a movie. Go see a matinee. Maybe it's some theater. There was this one place that was awesome, and I don't know if they have anything like that now. But it was like a dinner theater where I actually went to, and I had dinner and watched a play. It was awesome. There are things like that are around. If you need someone to talk to, I'm sure that there are many, many people to speak to. I mean, you can even call us and have a chat with us from time to time, just to see how things are going with you. So it's not that anything is wrong with you, and it's not that you're doing anything wrong. It's just that the opportunity hasn't come yet, and you kind of have to see it that way. All right? But keep trying. Keep trying. Your friendships will come to you. And when they do happen, remember, and you finally find friends, remember, you worked hard for those friendships. Do things that will honor them, and I'm sure they will do things to honor you. Okay, I hope that helps you. Is there anything else?
I know that certain animals represent certain principles. How do you take advantage of the principle an animal represents when it is a pet?
Well, if the animal is a pet, that's a perfect opportunity for you to take advantage of that principle. Build a relationship with that particular animal. If you know that that animal is actually part of your totemic, then the best thing for you to do is to get to know that animal and see if you can build a line of communication with that animal. You know, like we have animals here, and these animals all have personalities, and they have, you know, wide personalities. However, they all get together. They all get together and are peaceful with each other. You know, there's the hyacinth macaw that we have, that's Scooby, and he's got a personality that matches 20 people. You know, and you know, you build that communication with him. There's ways to approach him, and there's ways not to approach him. But once you understand that, then you have a wonderful relationship. It's the same with my Chow Chow, Ling, and Steel, you know, who's a big monster of a dog. You know, and he's got his own personality. Once you understand that personality, you can build lines of communication with them. Then you take advantage of that particular attribute with that animal. You know, there's also Mariko, and then there's Choi, and there is Elko, the rabbit. You know. Yeah, I know. I was thinking of something else. I had the song running in my head. But, you know, they all have these wonderful personalities. And, you know, if you meet these animals, to see them all together, you'd go, wait, how does that happen? It's because we understand them, they understand us, and they understand this. In order to be around us, they have to be peaceful with each other. We take advantage of that because amongst ourselves, we have our own totemic. I have my own totemic, and I understand my totemic. And I take advantage of that anytime I can. Just explore what you can with the animal. You have to get to actually know them. And if you have a totemic animal that is actually your pet, your companion, you have an edge on other people. Just get to know them. Listen to them. We humans, we don't listen very well at all, you know, when it comes to nature. We think that we're the top of things, but if you actually look at things the way that nature sees them, we're actually some of the weakest creatures on the face of this earth. None of us can run as fast as a dog, you know, climb a tree like a leopard, or go swimming the way that a fish does. We like to emulate and pretend that we can, but in truth, proportionally, they're a lot stronger than we are. Maybe if we got to know them, then we could call upon the strength that they have and do amazing things. Listening to them, you understand how they feel. For instance, I got to know horses. I've always liked horses, you know. My wife knows horses a lot better than I do, or she loves them a lot more than I do. But I understand them, and it wasn't something that I practiced. Being a telepath enabled me to do that. But, you know, feeling what a horse actually felt was dramatic, absolutely dramatic. I mean, you get with animals, and some of them direct a straight beam at you. That's a little beam, and you go, oh, you know, this animal really likes me. Well, that happened to me in this horse, and this horse's name was Lola. And she looked at me, and she poured this awesome feeling of love just at me directly. And it hit me, and I have to tell you, I got the willies. I was like, whoa, what is this? And I built this relationship with this horse in no time at all. This horse allowed me to understand it. And once I understood it, it was very, very strange to me that something could shoot that amount of energy right at me. It doesn't surprise me that I can feel it, but I didn't know that horses had that type of energy that they can, once they decide to pick you and they focus on you, it's like this incredible beam of just pure love and feeling. And, you know, then all of a sudden I noticed that all of the horses were doing it, and I had quite the experience. You know, needless to say, my whole perspective on horses changed. I've always liked them, but after that, I knew them. You know, so if you have a pet that, or an animal that you have that opportunity with, please take it. It will only enrich you. Get to know it, talk to it sometime, and then be quiet. Listen to its answer. You'll be quite amazed. Well, it looks like we have a caller. Okay. I'm going to go to the phone line. I hope that helps you, by the way. I'm going to go to the phone lines now. Good evening. How are you?
Are you talking to me? Hi, I know you told me not to call, but it's the only way I can listen to your radio show because my computer isn't working. It isn't picking up your broadcast. But I do.
Hi, how are you? This is Elise.
Yeah.
Hi, Elise. I didn't tell you not to call.
I have another question. I see this navy blue masculine figure that walks around, and he walks through people and then walks outside, and I'm just wondering, I don't know how to get rid of it or why it does that. And sometimes it sits on the ceiling.
Does it walk in your house?
It walks through our apartment, and I think it might have come from a chair that Tal found this chair outside that someone threw out. We just brought it in and cleaned it up, and then that thing started to walk around everywhere. And I
you
told
still
him
have the chair?
We threw the chair out, but this thing still walks around here.
Okay, I've taught you how to clean your house. Do that.
Okay.
Okay? Do the cleansing ceremony that I gave you in your house. And stop bringing things in that you find.
Okay, what about furniture that people have given us and they moved and then they died and we still have their furniture?
The same principle applies.
We should just throw it out then.
Well, either that or just make sure that it's cleaned.
Oh, okay. Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah, do it that way.
Okay.
If you do that, you'll make sure that no negative energy comes into your home. Okay?
So the negative energy is coming basically from the furniture or stuff like that.
I would think that's pretty obvious because the events didn't start until you brought the furniture in your home.
Oh, okay.
You know what to do about that. I've taught you what to do.
Yeah.
And for those of you that don't know, there's certain cleaning ceremonies that you can perform to make sure that no negative vibration comes from this. Remember what I taught you about the rules of exchange. For everything that is given to you, there must be an exchange. Okay, otherwise you form a contract.
Oh yeah, I gave her the lady that she gave us a couch and I gave her 3 paintings that I made.
Okay. Now if that couch is causing a negative vibration, just get rid of it immediately. Don't wait.
Yeah.
And then make sure you do the cleansing ceremony in your home afterwards.
Okay. I'll do the best I can and I'll let you know what happens.
Okay. Let me know. Okay. Good night, Elise.
Good night.
All right. For those of you, others of you that want to call in, the number here is 718-664-9638, and I will answer all of your questions. I'm going to go back to the chat room. What have you got there?
This next question is from Keith in our chat room. He says, Z, I have really been practicing the law of attraction. Do you believe in this? If you do, can you explain it for everyone?
Well, I don't believe in the law of attraction, no. I know that the law of attraction does apply in certain numbers or certain ways. But, you kind of have to define how you've been using it. What people jump on as this giant fad and call it the law of attraction has been happening forever. It's very simple. We like to say things like attracts like, or we like to say that only life can support life, and this is true. But when it comes to things like the law of attraction, understand what you attract to you, whatever you decide to be attracted to, and you decide to fulfill that attraction is what is attracted to you as well. It just depends on what it is that you're magnetizing to yourself. It could be almost anything. For instance, there are certain things that you will do in order to, let's say, lose weight. If you don't do those things and then tell me that you're practicing the law of attraction, that's not necessarily so. All you're doing is thinking about the law of attraction. Most people don't practice the law of attraction. They're just kind of fans of it. Okay, so they use the words. This is how you do something. If you think of something and there's a concept that you're looking to, there's something you are looking to make happen, then you've got to do the physical things that come along with it, not just sit and think and meditate. If there are things that you need to happen in your life, you've got to do something on a physical level. It's kind of like even what churches teach. And the way that they say is that faith without works is dead, but that's kind of a fatalist way to look at things. In order to use your faith, you've also got to do works. That's better. In other words, don't just use the esoteric. Match it with the physical. Do something in the physical. Or, as people have said before, long, long ago, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. And you'll wind up getting that which you are shooting for. You can't just, in your mind, shoot for the stars, realizing that you live in a physical dimension and do nothing. You have to realize that you live in a physical dimension and do the things that are going to be called for in order for you to realize your goal, especially in the realms of things like prosperity. That's great. All of us want to be rich, but you've got to actually do something in order to cause that to happen. You know, you've got to do something that will open you to that particular possibility. You can't receive anything with closed fists. That means basically you have to open your hands. And you open your hands by doing some of the things that are necessary in this physical realm that match what it is that you're doing in the esoteric realm. You know, so if you're talking about that particular type of law of attraction, yes, I fully endorse that. Now, if you're talking about the idea where you say, well, it will come to me if I just concentrate on it and know that it's going to come to me, listen. Seriously, we live in a third-dimensional reality. This is reality. Spiritual principles apply to every single thing that you will ever do, but that's the key form of it, isn't it? Do. You need something to come into your life. Don't just drop on your knees and practice the law of attraction, quote unquote. Do something. You be attracted to that thing and start making it happen, and that thing will get attracted to you. Don't ask the unicorn, don't ask the universe, don't ask the universe to meet you on a street corner and not be there because you're too busy waiting for the universe to come to you. Okay? Do something to walk towards that goal. That was awesome.
That was awesome.
Okay? You know, so if you're talking about that particular law of attraction, yeah, I'm all for that. Law of attraction always has one key component. You know what it is? Common sense. You know, the first step of spirituality is reality. Remember that. Don't go do abhorrent things thinking that you're going to attract something good to you. And at the same time, when you're doing something good, keep going. No matter what anyone says to you. So I hope that helps you. All right, what else have you got for me?
He says, that's what I have done. I have envisioned my dreams, and I have busted my butt to get there, and I have. I have found success, and I did it without hard work. But my point is I couldn't have done it without positive thinking.
Yeah, I think I just said that.
Yeah, he was just commenting.
Yeah, that's good. Keep going. You're doing well. Keep going. What else have you got for me?
Let's see. I think that's it. Oh, and we have a song request.
And what would the person like to hear? Who is it?
Prosperity Spell.
Okay. And who would like to hear Prosperity Spell?
From a student.
From a student.
Good. Yes, from a student.
Okay.
Would you like me to tell you?
Yes.
It was Teus.
It figures. All right. So at Teus's request, I'm going to play Prosperity. And all of you that would like to share in her joy of this particular song, you are more than welcome to do so. You're on the air live with Ahura Z. This is Ask the Unicorn.
Cast your circle, set your staff now. Waxing moon must guide your voice. Like your candle, sword by handle. Make your dance simple but strong so they will hear you and without fail.
And that was Prosperity. And that's for you, Teus. May you become strongly prosperous. All right. Well, we've had a wonderful show this evening. And do we have any more questions at all? Okay. We have some great questions. I like all of your questions. Please, if you have more questions, please write your questions down so that you can remember them and you will be able to ask them on our next week's show. I hope you all have a wonderful week. And this is Ahura Z with Ask the Unicorn. Have a pleasant evening. I'll see you all next week.